Alrighty then. I suppose we're just gonna get right back into it. 6 years later. Did I heal? Yeah. Okay, cool. I got my health back up. Oh, Amos is at 55 and Petra isn't there. So, weird. Maybe this is like current relationships, but Petra isn't. I wonder if there's an option to have Petra still, or if it's just like it's hiding that for right now. The fall of the Kingdom of Daria was a significant turning point in history. Scholars called it a new age, which became known as the Age of Demons. This didn't happen all at once, though. At first, it was thought to have been a tragic but manageable event. The morning after the castle was attacked found the entire royal family dead: King Brand, Queen Jade, and the heir to the throne, Prince Ben. Alexander Zuzak was declared a hero as he led his guards against the attackers and saved several nobles. The attack was blamed on criminals who poisoned the food being served in the banquet hall and released all the prisoners from the dungeons. The royal guards were quickly overwhelmed and the castle was burned to the ground. The surviving nobles gathered in the city of Tornasa to decide who should rule Daria. It took a year of deliberation before it was decided that the land would be better served by 4 leaders instead of 1. 3 of the nobles were declared dukes, and the kingdom was broken into 4 duchies? I've never seen that word before. Thus, the duchies of Brandar and the Norgan Mountains of the north, Udo in the great forests to the west, and Edan of the southern plains were formed. Each duchy, I'm going to be pronouncing that wrong the entire time. Alright. Is this going to pop up over here? Yep. Alright, we'll stick it over here. I'm going to just dictionary.com real quick. Whoops. Alright. And it's going to play so you guys can hear it too. Did you mean douchey? No. I'm just joking. The territory ruled by a duke or duchess. Duke or duchess. Duchess? I don't even know. Here.
Duchy.
Duchy. Duchess. Duh. Fucking retarded. Duchess. Alright. So each duchy was named after the duke who ruled it, except for the Domain Duchy. Duchy. God damn it. Duchy. I'm just going to keep calling it Duchy. Which was given to Selena, the red-haired woman who murdered your parents. Her keen intellect was deemed invaluable during the chaotic aftermath of the assault. Selena was given the castle in Brightwater on the Silver Sea to rule the 4th duchy. The kingdom of Daria was no more. The lost heir. Obviously, you weren't really killed in the attack. Amos said that he had nothing to do with the attack, but had been released along with everyone else. Furthermore, he claimed that none of the released prisoners were in any shape to fight, and those that could run simply fled the castle for freedom. He said he had seen consortium guards clustered around the royal treasury. Rumors never spoke about the theft, but you knew the rune-covered stone Alexander Zuzak was holding had been stolen during the chaos. Your first instinct on the morning after the attack had been to return to the ruins of the castle and let everyone know the truth about what had happened. Amos had taken the stones you stole from Zuzak and asked you to wait and listen before revealing yourself. You quickly learned that the only surviving nobles had been the ones who were out of favor with your parents. All of those who would have supported your claim had been killed or driven away. You never did learn what happened to Petra and her parents. You had expected Alexander Zuzak and the consortium to claim rulership, but they simply took their praise for saving the surviving nobles and disappeared into the background. The only thing that changed with regard to the consortium was that 3 new dukes and duchesses, 3 new dukes and the duchess lifted the ban on demon summoning. Everyone you had known was killed or had gone missing. Alexander Zuzak was relentless as he sent men across the newly formed 4 duchies in search of you. There was no doubt as to what he would do if he ever caught you. You are thankful that Amos advised you not to do anything rash. Although thankful, you still asked for the stones. You are angry at Amos for not letting you try to reclaim your throne immediately and stealing the stones. I mean, I'd like to kind of keep the stones. Amos refused your requests, saying that you were too young. The first couple of years were lonely and terrifying as you and Amos traveled from town to town looking for work and trying to survive. It was all you could do to just stay alive, let alone think about your future. +3 to Amos' relationship. As as the years passed, you grew older and people forgot what you looked like. You kept your name since so many other boys had been named Ben following your birth anyway. 3 years after the death of your parents found you living at an inn in Elmvale, a village in the newly formed Duchy of Udo. Amos was old, but once he cut his long hair and shaved his beard, he seemed much more respectable than you had first surmised. As you traveled the land, he was adept at acquiring wealth without having to work. After 3 years, he had enough money to put a sizable down payment on the Full Cup Inn, where you now live. Life in an inn was interesting as you learned to work with people and keep your patrons happy. +3 charm. As the years passed, it was difficult for Amos to completely hide his true profession from you. Instead, he offered to teach you the skills associated with this less than honest trade. You studied thief skills, I studied magic, I studied archery, I learned to fight with a sword, I learned how to brawl. Let's study some magic. Alright? Amos was able to find you new spells for your spell book and higher lessons from passing wizards. You never asked where he got the spells, although you heard many mages complain of the high level of crime in the city. Although you were far from academy trained, your skills still grew over the years. +15 to magic and +5 to arcana. The stones that you stole from Zuzak weighed heavily on your mind. It wasn't difficult to ask around about demon summoning, especially since it had been legalized. The Academy still licensed demon summoners, but more and more people began to practice the skill without proper training. Strangely, it seemed as though the Consortium actually encouraged this, instead of trying to keep the power to themselves. Unfortunately, your research never took you very far. You learned that the summoner needed a demon stone to summon a demon, as well as the demon's true name, which was written on the stone, and the willpower to control the beast. Through all of your research, you never heard about an unglowing stone, or what such a thing could mean. Amos kept that stone as well as the others hidden well from you and discouraged you from talking about it. Your new life in Elmvale had become routine. 2 years ago, you got a job to help pay the bills. A priest, a thief, a hunter, a town guard, a scribe, a thug. Let's be a hunter. A bard in the tavern. I don't think so. And, I mean, although I like how peaceful and how reassuring it is, the idea of being a priest or somebody in that, it's still we're going to end up getting into some religion stuff here. I don't agree with it. It doesn't sit well with me. Although I do like the simplicity. Although I think going out and hunting by myself and then learning about nature and things like that might be a better idea. Alright, the forest was filled with meat and pelts for the taking, for those with the skill to take them. Well, what was that? I'm going to make another Skyrim reference. Was it spells and incantations for those with the skill to cast them or some shit like that? Something Farngar says, with the skill to take them. In addition to this, many wealthy patrons paid well for the guides to take them on the hunting trips for foraging. Unfortunately, since you didn't own a bow of your own, you had to rent one while you saved your money to buy one for yourself. Archery +15, perception +10, endurance +10, nature +20, geography +10, and gold +140. Sweet! You look at the 2 rabbits you have placed on the merchant's counter. It wasn't a great haul, but it was decent. The days that you brought in a deer or a boar were much better. We'll miss you, the storekeeper says as he hands you several coins for the rabbit. You could make a good life for yourself here. No, thank you, you reply as you take your pay. I've made up my mind. Tomorrow is Midsummer's Day, the day when everyone in the realm celebrates their birthday. You will be turning 18. More importantly, you will be an adult in the eyes of the guilds. With limited money and resources, you had decided a long time ago the best way for you to fight back against the Consortium and the dukes who stole your crown was to work for the Adventurers Guild. The Adventurers Guild is a backbone of the entire guild system. Although many people join more than one guild at a time during their lives, it is the Adventurers Guild that provides the most lucrative jobs and opportunities, which you will need in order to find out why Zuzak killed your parents and to reclaim your throne if you choose to do so. You say nothing more as you turn your back and walk away. You have purchased most of what you will need for the life on the road, but you still have a few things to buy before you go. Visit Carl the Fletcher's son or visit Carla the Fletcher's daughter. I mean, if this is just picking between them, I mean, I'd much rather be adventuring with a female. Carla is thin and blonde with nimble, slender fingers. She's good at making arrows and one of the best archers you've ever met. She also knows the belt routes to say to the belt routes. Oh yes, yes, she knows her, and she knows the roots of my belt for sure. The best routes for travel and spending so much time listening to people buying things in her store. She is quiet and shy with a gentle demeanor. I like how they spelt demeanor with a U. You enter Carla's parents' store, seeing the vast array of arrows and quivers displayed for sale, along with many other items for the intrepid adventurer. She is sitting at a small table with a tray of feathers, a pot of glue, and unmade arrow shafts. She looks up as you enter, a smile on her face. Ask, any luck with that infinity arrow? Ask, can you get out of work early today? Stick to business and buy what you came for. You have no time for friends. I mean, sure, we'll talk about the infinity arrow. No, not yet, Carla says with a soft smile. It was an amazing idea, really. Carla was a great fletcher and a talented archer, but her real dream was to create a magical weapon she called the infinity arrow. Legend said it was perfect in every way, and if fired toward a target within eyesight, it couldn't miss. It was just a story, but Carla's personality to create something... But it fit Carla's personality to create something that perfect. Ask, can you get out of work early today? Stick to business and buy what you came for. Yeah, we can be friends. Carla smiles and nods. How can I say no when it's your last day in town? She says as she puts down her fletching gear and closes the shop for the day. I have a few things I need to get first, you say with a smile. You purchase a sleeping roll, flint and steel, water skin, and a backpack. It completes your traveling gear. Carla walks from store to store with you as you do your shopping. You have 140 gold. Buy weapons. Okay, so that's stuff I already purchased. Buy weapons, buy equipment, buy from the Thieves Guild, or visit the temple. Done shopping. Let's buy some equipment. You have 140 gold. I can buy a lute, a coil of rope, a lantern, a hammer, and some spikes. Let's buy a coil of rope, and then go back. Weapons. What can we buy for weapons? We get a sword, a dagger, a bow. I mean, I'm skilled with the bow, so we'll go ahead and buy that. But I mean, what harm can it be to buy a dagger? I mean, there's 101 uses for a knife, and then you chuck it up into the ceiling and destroy whatever it was. What does the Thieves Guild got for me? Buy a thieves' harness for climbing. Wait, do I have anything for... I don't have anything devices. I'm assuming that's thievery stuff. Got good endurance, which is good, because I mean, I'm actually pretty... high on endurance myself when it comes to being a person. To visit the temple. Buy a flask of holy water, buy a holy symbol, donate gold to the needy. It doesn't say how much. Oh, sure, cool. We can donate 10 gold. We'll donate 10 gold. And plus 1 good, cool. Alright, let's go back. And then we'll be done shopping. You store your new things in your new backpack before walking out of town. You'll have to get used to the weight, so you don't mind bringing it all with you. Carla closes the shop door and locks it before following you out. Many people wave to you, making you realize how much Elmvale has become your home over the last few years. Walk out of town or walk to the tavern. She's following me out, so we can go to the tavern and maybe talk. The bar is fuller than you expect for a summer afternoon. Amos is busy talking to the kitchen staff about the night's meal. Tonight is Midsummer's Eve, a night known for excessive behaviors and wild parties. Most responsible 17-year-olds who are turning 18 tomorrow are careful. Oh, okay. Many craftsmen already know who they will be choosing for apprentices, but stories of careless youths losing a job because of poor presentation at the ceremony are often told. You are intending to turn down any offer since you are going to take up the life of an adventurer. Carla is also relatively without stress, as her position in the Fletcher's Guild is pretty much guaranteed. Have a few drinks, have only one drinks, have no drinks. Yeah, we're not going to drink. No, thank you. Carla isn't much of a drinker, so you aren't surprised when she doesn't order a drink either. The Full Cup Inn is full of familiar faces. One table has a group of loud, short, stocky beard men who work the mines. Another table has a group of thin men with pipes. Your server is a handsome man with well-defined muscles in his arms, a charming smile, and bright eyes. Order a meal. Yeah. It's a little early to eat, but you know that it'll be busy soon. You place your order with the server, surprised when he winks at you. Oh, surprised when he winks at you. Okay. You can smell the roasting meat and freshly baked bread from the kitchen. You make small talk with Carla as you wait for the food to arrive. A short while later, the handsome server brings you your meal. Carla relationship +3. Order some drinks, talk to Carla, call it a night, and go home. We'll talk to Carla. We'll talk about what she thinks. The bar's in full swing around you. Carla laughs as she talks, obviously enjoying herself. Spend the rest of the night talking to Carla, say goodnight, and go home early. I mean, so okay, so I'm not leaving. Obviously, I still have to go to the thing, like, do the stuff to become a man and stuff like that. We can spend the rest of the night talking to Carla. It doesn't have to get, you sit down and talk until the bar closes. Okay, Carla relationship. Okay, good. I was afraid it was going to do the thing that it did with Choice of the Pirate, if you guys have seen that. Wink. Where I was like, yeah, I want to spend the night talking to her. And I figured it would end up like this, but then it just automatically made us have sex, and then she was the love interest for the rest of the game. I was like, yeah, all right, I'm good with that. But I didn't like that it just jumped to that conclusion, because I was like, I like her, let's spend some time with her, and it was immediately like, yeah, you jumped in the sack. That was a little bit annoying. The next day. The morning of midsummer dawns bright and sunny. It is quiet, although it is quiet, although you are used to lots of noise. The small room over the Full Cup Inn is often filled with sounds during the night, but the mornings are silent. You put on your clothes and fill your backpack. Now that you are 18, you can apply for membership to the Adventurers Guild and begin making a life for yourself. You leave your small room behind and go downstairs. Amos is waiting for you at a table in the empty bar. He's been like a father to you for the last 6 years. Although a little uncouth at times, you got along well with the former prisoner. Okay, this is Amos. I think it's time to talk about those runes you took from High Chancellor Zuzak, Amos says. They're demon stones, and they're how the planeswalkers summon their servants. Ask what you know about them, demand their mind, give them back, say, yes, I know what they are. We'll ask him what else he knows, just in case he says something I don't know. The Somrath crafted the original ones, Amos says, but the Consortium has begun to learn the skill as well. The stones have the true names of a demon inscribed on them, allowing a summoner to bring the creature into our world. Any newly found demon stones are sent immediately to the Consortium. But the one that Zuzak stole from the royal treasury had been kept there for hundreds of years. The strange part is, as far as I know, it never even worked. Harmon would have known more. It's too bad he was killed. Oh, damn. That's right. Yeah, there's no option of not having Harmon. Shit. Alright. Amos hands you a dark black bag similar to the one that Zuzak had been wearing. You see the 4 stones that you stole from Zuzak inside. Gained a black rune bag with 4 stones inside. Alright, cool. They're yours now, he says. Your parents were always against them. They knew they were evil. But it may be your best way to get back at Zuzak. Okay, so I'm assuming at some point I'm going to have the option of using them. And I hope that actually using them doesn't end up turning me bad, because, I mean, I'm at 51% good, 49% evil. I mean, I was going to donate tons of money to the temple, but, I mean, they still do good work, blah, blah, blah. I don't like churches nowadays. Thinking about, like, okay, temples are great in high fantasy. They suck in real life. Yeah, it's a consortium room bag. They used to be illegal when your parents ruled. The Academy licensed their usage, but since the new dukes lifted the ban on demon summoning, anyone can carry one. It's what they use to hold their demon stones. If you're going to be carrying them, it'll be safer to keep them in this. But please, don't use them. Say, I won't use them unless I have no other choice. Say, I'll do as I like with them, old man. It might be my only chance to get back at Zuzak. I say, I won't use them unless I have no other choice. Amos nods in agreement. +1 good. Plus Amos 3 relationship. Cool. This is him. Yeah, okay. I still don't know how Harmon's spells open the rune bag like that. He says with a curious expression on his face, the rune bag has a protective enchantment on it. If someone other than an owner tries to open it or cut through the side, the demon stones are rendered useless. I don't know if it was his skill or luck that opened Zuzak's bag without destroying the contents. Do you have any other questions to ask before you go? He asks. What do you know about Zuzak? What do you know about Thuja? What do you know about Selena? What do you know about the Consortium? Why did they kill my parents? It's fucking obvious. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's time for me to leave. Okay, so Zuzak was the main guy. Thuja was his right-hand man, and then Selena was his right-hand woman, because he's got two right hands and a left hand. I don't know if they explain that in the story, but he absolutely does. Um, it's like if it would make a comic, he would have like an extra right hand down there. So I'm guessing at some point I'm going to want to hunt them all down and murder them. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I mean, once I figure out what they actually like, obviously they're evil. So Selena killed my parents. Thuja tried to kill me. Zuzak was the ringleader. Doesn't really matter what their reasons were. They kind of fucked up my entire kingdom. So I'm thinking Selena might be like the sweetest kill to have first, and then Thuja and Zuzak are just kind of like they're just required. But Selena's going to be the best one. So I mean, if I only get to kill one before I die, probably want it to be her. The red-haired prisoner was named the Duchess of the newly formed Duchy of Domaine, Amos says. Despite not being noble, her keen intellect and resourceful decisions during the difficult time after your parents were killed showed her value. Like Zuzak, she's hiding in plain sight and is fully protected by the law. Anything else? Alright, so we want to kill the Duchy of Domaine. Real quick, we'll just might as well get the other information out of him too. A dual-axe-wielding giant of a man, Amos says. I suspect he was responsible for gathering the men who attacked. The dukes told everyone that the criminals were there to break men out of the prison, and they did that, but we know that they were there for much more. Did you notice his belt? The way he moves is unnatural. I suspect that the magic is coming from that rune-covered piece of leather he wears around his waist. Anything else? If I could get a hold of that belt, that'd be pretty sweet. What do we know about the Consortium? The Consortium of Planeswalkers, Amos says, they have a large compound in Vernex to the far north, newly named Bandar Duchy. Why do I fucking want to keep calling it Duchy? They proclaimed themselves to be the answer to the world's problems, with their demon summoning. But don't ever be swayed by their ideologies. Demon summoning is dangerous and evil. In untrained hands, a summoner can bring over something too powerful and lose his very soul, becoming a puppet to the monster instead of the other way around. I don't know why they always petitioned your parents to make it legal. You'd think they'd try to keep the power themselves. Instead, they had the dukes lift the ban. The academy used to train summoners, but now anyone is allowed to do it. Well, obviously that runestone thing is a demon that was never actually sent back. And he's probably the actual driving force behind the Consortium. He wants to get as many people as possible taken over by the demons, and then just kill off the rest of the people. Anything else? We'll ask about Zuzak. Alexander Zuzak was high up in the Consortium before the attack, Amos said. Since the kingdom broke apart and the dukes took over, he's been quiet, but he's also been consolidating his power. He's still the High Chancellor, and that's as high as it gets. I've asked around, and everyone says he rarely leaves the Consortium compounds in Vernex. Alright, so yeah, so he's going to be with the rest of them. If I can manage to get the belt and kill Selena, that would be good. It's time for me to leave. Amos nods in agreement. Hug the old thief and say goodbye and thank him. Ask for money and leave. Leave without saying anything. We'll hug him and say goodbye. You can tell that you've surprised Amos by your display of affection. He has led a rough and difficult life, but his heart is good. He hugs you back. Amos relationship plus 15. Be careful out there, he says in a gruff voice. Don't let anyone take advantage of you, and please come back to visit. You say that you will, and smile one last time at the old man before slipping out the front door. The village of Vale is bustling as you make your way to the town center. I'm guessing I'm going to go to the thing and try to steal away Carla. Carla and Amos are at the same thing. So I've got the pouch, my spell book, my dagger, and my bow. I like how it says where they are. So I've got a dagger in my sleeve, a bowstring over my back. That might actually, saying that the dagger's in my sleeve helps me actually a lot about, because there's a lot of times in these games where I think that doing something would make sense, but the other person is thinking something different. So a dagger actually being up my sleeve helps me a lot in deciding whether I want to actually pull a dagger. Because, it's just a quick motion and the dagger's out. I'm assuming by my character, and not me in real life, because I'd probably end up just, flinging it at the ground and into my own foot or some shit. And then my backpack has a rune bag with 3 growing... Okay, so it's where it's at, and then that. Okay, so my spellbook is probably still in my pouch. My gold is there. My backpack has the black rune bag, a rope, a water skin, a flint and steel, and a sleeping roll, right? Oh, wait. Ben the Hunter. Cool. Ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-da-ba-da. The other new adults who turned 18 this year have already gathered. Most of them will get jobs as apprentices in various fields, but some unfortunate ones won't be offered anything. Haha, pieces of shit, probably the shop tards. Most will go to other villages and hope for apprenticeships, but some will be going straight to the Adventurers Guild to offer their service. Sure enough, the guild is bursting at the seams with new applicants. Not all of them will be cast-offs. Some of them, like yourself, will have wanted to join on their own. It made for a very diverse group of people. Gods be damned! A voice shouts. The owner of the voice, a large woman is the largest woman you've ever seen, or the largest man you've ever seen. We might as well make it a man. He stands 7 feet tall and must weigh at least 300 pounds. His legs are like tree trunks and his arms are bulging with muscle. His messy black hair hangs over a thick brow and he wears a massive warhammer on his belt. He's around 25, a veteran adventurer. Blasted midsummer day, he says. He looks over the job board. You can see the problem immediately. There are so many new people, like yourself, that there weren't enough jobs to go around. You make your way through the throng and try to find something for yourself. Screw this, the large man says, pushing through the crowd and going the opposite direction. You notice that he has a plan, so you follow him. Struggle to see the board. Yeah, he can go ahead and storm off if he wants. You have to push and jostle your way through the crowd, but eventually you get close enough to see the list of jobs. You can tell right away there is nothing left. You can see why the large man left so angrily. A boy my age. Okay. Yes, sir. Tomorrow morning at dawn, a boy your age is saying to the Adventurers Guild representative. Once he is done talking to the man, he starts making his way through the crowd. A young woman with a pair of short swords across her back asks about the job he just received. There's a caravan going south, the boy says. It's just sheep, but at least I'll get paid and some experience with the guild. Offer him 10 gold to give you the job. Needs 10 gold. Try to talk the boy into giving me the job. I don't have that option? Fuck that. Maybe it's because I'm female. Threaten the boy to give you a job. Talk to the Adventurers Guild and offer to do the job for half price. That's where we go. We undercut that motherfucker. You know that you need the job. You can't stay in Elmvale waiting for the next position to open. There are so many people waiting to get hired. The guild takes your offer to the employer, and you are left waiting. An hour later, you hear that you've been hired. Fuck yeah! The paperwork for the job is easy. Like many others, you had already registered with the Adventurers Guild. Amos and several townspeople vouched for you. After having lived in Elmvale for the last 4 years, they felt confident in attesting to your age that you hadn't been in the guild before. The next day dawns bright. Dawns bright as you wait on the outskirts of town. Master Jet, your new employer, has a large flock of sheep and several farm hands to service them. Your job as a guard is to help escort the band cross-country to his pastures in the southern duchy of Eden. Or Adan. I'm going to say it's Adan. It's a low-paying job, but better than nothing. You see the large warrior with the warhammer from yesterday waiting nearby. I mean, if he's just... Okay, we're not going to talk to him. Master Jet approaches you, look over your equipment, but says nothing about it. I'll expect the 6 of you to keep within yelling distance, Master Jet says. If you run into trouble, keep the flock safe. If we make it to Lud without losing any sheep, I'll give you a bonus. The farmhands will see to the sheep, but your responsibility for keeping any predators away. Theo is in charge, so you'll be following his orders when I'm not around. You aren't too surprised that Master Jet is referring to the large warrior. Theo is the oldest of the guards. The other guards, like yourself, look very inexperienced compared to him. You guess that it is the first job for them as well. There is very little left to say as Master Jet speaks to his farm hands and the entire band begins to move out. You turn around to look at Elmvale and see a small group of people waving to you and others. They are the family members of the 4 young guards, watching their sons and daughters as they embark on their first adventure. You are pleased to see Amos standing among them. Among the faces you see your friend Carla, who gives you a wave. Guarding sheep may not be a grand start, but it's a beginning. You straighten your shoulders and follow the others out of town. Begin the life of an adventurer. Alrighty, so I'm like partially good. I hope this is a long-ass game, but then again, my skills are... I mean, they'll probably start slowing down like a lot of the other games did. Yeah, my stealth is absolute crap. But I'm good with magic and archery. Well, I say I'm alright at magic and kind of okay at archery. but I know a lot about nature and arcana, and a little bit about geography, history, and religion. Go fuck themselves. So Theo's at 50%. I haven't done anything against or to him. It would be good either. So let's begin the life of an adventurer. Your new life as an adventurer was quite simple. The shepherds looked after the sheep, and all you had to do was follow along and keep an eye on them. Theo was a good person to work under. As long as you followed his instructions, things went well. After a long day of walking, you set up camp. Cast wards over the sheep to alert you for danger. Try to convince the shepherds and guards to be extra diligent on this trip. Take extra shifts to guard the sheep at night. Set alarm sounding traps for the camp each night. Choose campsites based places natural predators are not likely to be. Do nothing special for the sheep. Yeah, let's cast wards over them, sure. The word spell work, alerting the shepherds and the guards of danger. Master Jet is impressed by the magic, and every sheep is accounted for each morning. Usually with a band this large, a few sheep would wander off or get taken by predators. But with your incantation, they are all kept safe. The evening fires are social and entertaining. The shepherds and guards sit together, talking about their lives and about Lud, the city where the sheep are being taken to. The night sky is full of stars, and the noises the sheep make are soft and sleepy. I can't wait till one of these nights, like, most of the guards get slaughtered and most of the sheep. Or all of the sheep. I don't know. Maybe I'd take one for myself. Kill it. Eat it. Yum. I have mixed feelings, Master Jet says. I'll be happy to sell off my flock in Lud and retire, but I'll miss it. My wife will be happy when I return with the money. She wants to buy a big new house in Emvale. Oh, yeah, he's fucking dead. He's so dying. Talking about a wife? Sucks to be you, bro. You're in a fantasy. The other 4 young guards seem nice enough, as they politely listen to Master Jet. Theo isn't rude to his employer, but you can tell he is bored with the mundane talk. He sits slightly apart, running his fingers along the haft of his enormous warhammer. Ask where you're from, Theo. Try to steal from Master Jet, Theo, and everyone else. Fuck that. Alright, let's go talk to Theo. Might as well. The Norgan, he says, staring into the fire. The northern mountains are beautiful, I hear, you respond, remembering your geography lessons with poor old Harmon, your tutor. Geography +3 through relationship +3. It's in the Bandar duchy now, he says. It's a reminder that the kingdom of Daria is no more. Do you miss the kingdom? He asks. The large man shrugs his shoulder. A king or a duke, it makes no difference to the mountain folk. Try to steal from Bot? No. Let's go to bed. The moment you find yourself alone, you take out your new rune bag that Amos has given you. The four students, yes, I'm the cast from my students. The 4 stoons in the bag are about the size of small radishes and covered with runes. Or roans. Yeah, roans and stoons, yeah. They're stoons covered in roans. 3 of them are glowing with mystical light, but the one Zuzak stole from the royal treasury isn't. Your parents were against demon summoning, but were unable to stop the practice entirely. Although they were able to restrict the practice to those licensed by the Academy, those who became licensed quickly banded together, becoming the consortium of planeswalkers. The key to your parents' deaths might be the destruction of the kingdom is connected to these stones. And the destruction of the kingdom is connected to stones. Okay. That doesn't mean that you have to learn how to work them, but it might help. It would be dangerous, but it might give you great power. Will you try to use the demon stones? Ha! Fuck no! You put the stones back in your room bag and bury it safely in your backpack once more. It's enough to know that they are important to Zuzak without actually using them. Several weeks later, as everyone is setting up camp, you hear crying from the edge of the site. The youngest shepherd, a little girl several years younger than yourself, sees you watching and begins pouring out her tale. I forgot it, she says. My mama gave me it, and told me not to lose it. I only noticed it missing just now. I left my cloak on that big boulder near the creek at last night's camp. You recall the boulder. If you stayed up all night and ran, you might even get back before the herd moved in the morning, but it would be exhausting. Tell the girl to use one of the spare sheep blankets. Tell the girl to stop whining like a baby. Ask Master... Yep. Okay, we'll ask his permission first. Master Jet assents, saying that he will adjust the guard shift. You jog through the night and return to the previous evening's camp, with no sheep slowing you down. It doesn't take nearly as long. You return to the others just as they are preparing to break camp the next morning. The little girl is very happy, although Theo finds your dereliction of duty frustrating, and you catch a terrible cold from being so exhausted. The cold really takes a toll on your health. Ooh, damn. Okay, Theo relationship doesn't like that. I got -2 strength, -2 endurance, -2 agility, but plus 15 good. I'm a good guy. Yay. Also, Jet literally told me I could. So that's actually really bad. It sucks. I got reduced stats for that? It's fucking gay. One day, you find yourself walking near the front of the band. You are passing through the last forests of Udo as the plains of Adan begin to take over the landscape. Movement between the trunks ahead of you catches your eye. The sheep are following behind you, walking calmly along the forest path. You hold up your hand and turn back to the shepherds. One of them sees a signal and halts the long string of animals. You spot Theo jogging forward to see why you called a stop. If you're wrong, you know that Master Jet will be upset, since it takes a lot of work to get the sheep all moving forward again. You know you have done the right thing when a large green man-shaped beast appears steps out from between the trees ahead of you. Troll! Theo yells as he draws his hammer. Try to stab the troll with your dagger, fire an arrow at the monster, cast a blast with plasma, attack the troll with your bare hands, watch as Theo and the other guards fight the monster. Oh, we'll fire an arrow. You draw your bow and smoothly knock an arrow. When you release it, you're pleased to see this stick into the troll's chest. Archery +3 and troll health -25. Oh, cool. So it's actually got like a health thing. Cool. We need a fire, Theo says as his large hammer smashes solidly into the leg of the troll. The monster wobbles on its broken leg, but instead of falling, you watch the leg snaps back into place and heals itself. The other guards ignore Theo's command and begin to fight the troll with swords and arrows. The shepherds and Master Jet mostly ignore the fight as they struggle to keep the sheep from scattering across the forest. You agree, a fire is the only way to keep a troll from regenerating. Yeah, I fucking knew that. They actually like ice. Conjure a fire, build a fire, ignore Theo and attempt to immobilize with magic, arrows, or my hands. Oh, let's conjure a fucking fire, damn it. You quickly gather branches together as Theo and the other... Okay, I am conjuring a fire. You raise your hands and begin casting the spell. The magic causes small sparks of flame to appear around your fingers just before a blast surges forth, setting the wood on fire. Okay, I thought it meant the woods at first. The troll roars into the sky, scaring the already petrified sheep even more. The smell of smoke from the fires seems to set the creature into a frenzy as it renews its attacks. Pick up a flaming branch and attempt to set the troll on fire. Attempt to push the troll into the fire. Sneak around the troll and attempt to trip into the fire. Stand back and let Theo finish the troll. Let's get a flaming brand and try to set him on fire. You swing at the green-skinned troll with the flaming brand, but miss wildly. Needed 35 agility. Show stats. I had fucking 35 agility, didn't I? Where the fuck's my agility? Agility, 28. Oh, fucking gay. The troll strikes left and right, slashing throats and tearing open stomachs as it kills 2 young guards. Owned. Theo steps forward and swings his enormous hammer downward, smashing the troll's skull and causing the creature to fall to the ground. He then rolls the creature into the fire. Its green skin bubbles and turns black as flames crawl across it. A nauseating, sweet smell fills the air. Troll health 0 out of 100. Theo pokes at the burned remains while Master Jet and the shepherds gather what they can, find the flock, and begin to herd them into one location. The remaining guards help look for the missing sheep. You see the large warrior pull a small metal box from the troll's burned corpse. He turns it over a few times, glances at it, and then puts it in his pocket. Your blood quickens in your veins as you realize what the box is. The dead guards are stripped of their clothing, and Master Jet and the shepherds dig a shallow grave in the forest. The bodies are dropped into it with hardly a word. The band is exhausted at the end of the day. Oh, shoot. Okay, so it's got to count to the... Damn! 5,000 sheep? Okay. The campfire is extra quiet with the missing young guards from Elmvale not there. Master Jet walks among the sheep, trying to get a feel for how many are lost. So we lost 400 sheep from that? Shit. Meanwhile, Theo is looking at the box he found on the troll. Buck up. You did good, Theo says with a friendly smile, clapping you firmly on the shoulder. Theo relationship +5. I know what the box is. Oh, that's me. I know what the box is, you say. It's a Somrath welcome box. It's used to gain access to Somrath strongholds. You say, pass it to me. Let me see if I can open it. Don't even try to open it. I'm not going to try to open it. If you can't get it open, you say, you'll find a map to the stronghold etched on the inner walls, and a stone that will act like a key. Have you heard of the Somrath? You asked, to which Theo that's me, fucking damn it. Well, why did they not end... Why does that end in the quotations then? Fucking Mike Walter. Answer me that. Explain that. All right. Have you heard of the Somreth? You asked, to which Theo shakes his head. They had enormous cities across Daria. It was an amazing society of inventors and wizards. It was as though every member was academy trained. Nobody knows for sure what happened to them, but they're all gone now. Only the ruins of their cities remain. Yeah, see, this one doesn't end in quotations. Trolls are strange creatures. Their regeneration makes guessing their age impossible. It's entirely probable that the troll was 1,000 years old. Whether it killed the owner of this box and kept it, or whether it was entrusted with the box as a guard or servant, we'll never know. The beginning of a plan starts to form in your mind. You won't get much money for the box, but the consortium of planewalkers has deep pockets when it comes to Somreth artifacts. They would pay a lot for what we could find in the stronghold itself. You can tell that you've set the wheels turning in Theo's head. They aren't turning quickly enough just yet, but he is considering your words. The next few days are uneventful as the forest dwindles into plains. Your injuries are painful and sore, but slowly they begin to heal. It is much easier to roam across the flat land where it doesn't take hours to find sheep that wander off the forest trail. Health plus 30. The life of an adventurer is much more difficult than you had expected. The troll attack had been intense. Your mind is filled with these thoughts when a movement catches your eye among the sheep at the far edge of the band. Blech. Your mind is filled with these thoughts when a movement catches your eye among the sheep at the far edge of the band. So something's moving over by the sheep. Let's go check it out. As you walk, you see a sheep disappear in the distance. This is immediately followed by another. Your keen eye notices the edge of a large grass-covered pit. You can see the two sheep lying at the bottom. They have been impaled by spikes, but are both still alive and mewing piteously. Climb down into the pit. Use your rope to climb down. Leave the sheep. Let's use my rope. You search the top of the pit to find a large rock to tie the rope to and use it to enter the pit. You move along the spikes. The trap was obviously made by an intelligent being. Take the sheep out of the pit and leave. Search the pit. Let's search the pit real quick. The grass-covered pit, filled with spikes, is brutally efficient. You can see bloody stains from its past victims. It likely wasn't set for the sheep specifically, but if left unattended, it could wipe out a large number of them. A crack in the side of the pit's walls draws your eye. You realize that it's a secret door. Open the door, trap the door, and then wait. Take the sheep and leave the door alone. Can I trap the door, take the sheep, and leave? No, we'll take the sheep and leave. You climb out of the trap, taking two of the sheep with you. You don't have to go far. You see a man standing a few feet from the edge. "You're alive!" Master Jet exclaims as he steps towards you. He happily takes the two injured sheep from you and passes them to the shepherds rushing forward from nearby. The flock is carefully detoured around the pit and no more sheep are injured. The rest of the trip is quiet as you leave the forest duchy of Udo and enter the plains of the Edan duchy. It seems hard to believe that only 6 years ago all of these lands were a part of one kingdom, Daria, and under the loving care of your parents. The city of Lud, which was a busy trading town known for their horses, was still a thriving hub of commerce and trade. Continue forward, consider double-crossing Master Jet. Fuck no, continue forward. The next day you arrive in Lud. It's a large city, much bigger than Elmville, but smaller than Tornassa. It's a city on the plains. As it's a city on the plains, you see livestock and horses everywhere. You watch as the sheep are led into a field on the outskirts of town and counted carefully. "First, your pay," Master Jet says as he goes over your Adventurers Guild contract. "You signed for half price, so your share comes to 50 gold. All right? Master Jet is happy that many of the animals arrived safely. He pays you a bonus for a job well done. Theo is just happy to get paid and no longer be near sheep. Needed 4,750 sheep for the thingy, so I get plus 100 gold plus relationship 10 for that, or if I did that. Where's my gold? 160 gold. Right? Yeah, okay, so I did get that. But I didn't get the bonus, whatever it was. So you had to have more sheep. But I didn't. So we lost 400 sheep from the fucking troll. You say goodbye to Master Jet, the remaining guards, and the shepherds. "Let's get a drink," Theo suggests as you walk down the dirty streets of the city. Say, "Okay, let's go." Say, "Sure, but I'd like to drop by the local temple." No, let's go. You and Theo enter a tavern. He buys a round of drinks and half of his beverage in one large... and drinks He buys a round and drinks. Okay, not a round of drinks. He then takes the box out of his belt pouch and sets it on the table. No more sheep, he says with an air of determination. I'm tired of taking on shit jobs. This is my chance to make some real money. He puts the box back into the belt pouch and looks you in the eye. I'm going to hire someone to open it, he says. Instead of selling it off and letting someone else reap the rewards, I'm going to hire a crew myself. There's going to be some cost in getting things started. But what do you say to being my partner? You realize that this could be exactly the kind of opportunity you've been hoping for. If you can find something that the consortium wants, it would give you a legitimate reason to gain an audience with Alexander Zuzak. Become partner, 100 gold for a share of the box, 50 gold needed to open it, and 20 gold to post an Adventurers Guild ad. Fucking need 170 gold. If I wouldn't have given the 10 gold to the temple for that one piece of good, I would have been able to afford this. I had the same fucking problem in Choice of Robots. Stupid as shit. Say I don't have the money. The large man frowns at you. It is clear that he had been thinking about this conversation for a while now, and he hadn't considered this. Well, I still want you along, he says. Fine, don't worry about the money. I'll just hire you then. You'll still get your share, but I get first dibs since I'm the one forking out the gold. This is going to take a while, and I have some personal business to take care of, too, he says. You should stay here. It's a nice place, and I know the innkeeper. Arrangements are made, and 2 rooms are booked. Theo finishes the rest of his drink and a large gulp before leaving the bar. You aren't sure how long it will take, but you know that sitting idly and waiting wouldn't be a good idea. With an entire city at your fingertips, surely someone must be hiring. Okay, so I lost 20 gold for the night. Become a priest, join the Thieves Guild, become an apprentice wizard, work for the city guard, work in the local library, find work as a thug, find work as a nature guide, or go shopping. Can I come back to this one? Hopefully. I hope so. Is there like a save sort of thing? Like a quick save? Whatever. Let's become an apprentice wizard. Life in Lud is busy and hectic. Almost every aspect of business is connected to the raising and breeding of horses. It was the second day in town when you met a man named Zeno. He wore the fabled star and moon inscribed blue robes of a wizard. He was young for an academy-trained mage, perhaps only 40 years old. He had no beard, but his hair was already turning gray. He surprised you by walking into you on the streets and looking you up and down. You're radiating power, Master Zeno says. You have some potential, but you're losing energy like a broken water jug. He explains that he has been hired by a local horse breeder to magically enhance the animals. That sounds like quite the job, if enhances seen the way as I read that at first. He offers to allow you to become his apprentice. This is an enormous opportunity. If you excel at your studies, you may even be accepted into the academy itself one day. In return for these lessons, he has you casting minor enhancements upon the horses in care in order to stretch his own magical energies further. He knows that you won't be staying in Lud for long, but the things he teaches you are priceless. Gained level in wizardry, plus 10 gold, plus 10 arcana, and plus 15 magic. Cool. The days in Lud go by quickly. Before you know it, you've been there a few months. Holy crap! One day, Theo abruptly enters the inn when you are eating your breakfast. I got it open, Theo says as he sets the box in front of you. You were right. The key was inside it. You could see the map inscribed within, as well as a small smooth stone etched with runes you suspected that would be there. Do you have a moment? You say, yes, I have some time. Yes, I wanted to talk to you. No, I have things to do. Yes, I have some time. Good, because I have some people I'd like you to meet. I have most of the provisions purchased for our trip to find the Somrath stronghold, and I've hired 2 people to join us. In fact, there's one of them now. The door to the tavern opens and walks a figure in dark robes. It's a pale man with black hair, a pale woman with black hair. Yeah, we can go with the raven look. This is just Solway, Theo says. The woman is of average height with long, shiny black hair, a single lock of bright white hanging over... I wonder if there's an achievement for only picking female characters. Because you can choose the genders of all of these characters, so I wonder if there's an achievement for only picking females. Because I believe there are achievements, right? I'm not going to click it because I don't want it to take me out of here. I'm guessing it wouldn't, but I'm just not going to do that. She's of average height with long, shiny black hair, a single lock of bright white hanging over her eyes. Her full lips are ruby red and slightly apart. Her robes cling tightly to her gentle female curves. She has an arrogant look on her pale face and seems to be looking down her nose at you. You recognize the robes that she is wearing. She is a soul burner, a type of powerful wizard not affiliated with the Academy, and perhaps even more controversial than the Consortium mages. Ooh. So she's a necromancer. Extend your hand and say welcome, I'm Ben. Wait for her to speak first. Comment coldly, a soul burner. Ask, are you a vampire or something? Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Theo laughs nervously at your rude comment, but really the pale skin and dark robes. Jess doesn't see the humor in your comment and doesn't dignify your words with a response. Fuck you too, Jess. Like Jessie. Okay. We're lucky we're lucky that Jess is free to join us, Theo says. Soulburners are powerful mages who sacrifice their own spirit to fuel their magic. Due to the fact that you must be born with the ability, the Academy has very little say in how they use their magic. Although potentially powerful, many people feel that giving up their divine soul for magical power is evil. The door to the inn opens a second time. You can hardly believe your eyes. It's Petra! Memories of the time you spent with the young noble girl fill your head. You are shocked to see that she has grown into a beautiful and curvaceous woman. Her freckles are still lightly scattered across her cheeks, and her bright brown hair falls in luxurious curls across her slender shoulders. You notice her bright green eyes fill with recognition as she sees you. She is wearing the metal plates of the clerical order, but they are unable to hide her womanly figure and soft roundness. Ben! She exclaims, rushing forward and wrapping her arms around you. Hug her back, quickly untangle yourself from her embrace. Yeah, we'll hug her back. Petra embraces you as memories of your childhood fill your mind. It's been a long time, Ben. We have a lot to catch up on. You haven't been recognized as the lost heir of Daria before. You quickly see that there is no need to worry about Petra blowing your cover. The lack of her honorific shows that she will keep your secret. I see you already know our cleric, Theo says. You watch as Petra's eyes narrow while looking at Jess. I won't travel with this abomination, your childhood friend says coldly. Say, come on, Petra, a soul burner could really be helpful in this job. Say, I agree, we shouldn't expose ourselves to this evil magic. I will say nothing. Jess returns Petra's cold look with an impassive countenance. I've already hired you both formally through the guild, Theo says, stemming further argument. Very well, but I don't like it, Petra says. The rest of the conversation is filled with business. Your party of 4 has been gathered, and you will be following the map to the potential Somrath stronghold. Together your group estimates that the destination is about 3 weeks away. Back in the Duchy of Udo... is about 3 weeks away, back in the Duchy of Udo. Okay. Coincidentally, it's rather close to Elmvale, the small village where Amos raised you. The payout is simple. Every member will get an equal share of the treasure, but as the group's leader, Theo gets first pick. That should do, Theo says. We'll meet back here in 1 week. Jess nods at the announcement and leaves the inn without another word. I'll see you both in a week, Theo says to you and Petra before following the soul burner out of the tavern. So tell me, Petra says, how does the deceased Prince of Daria and heir to the throne end up looking for adventure in a seedy city like Lud? Say it's a long story. Say I thought you were dead. Say coldly none of your business. Say I thought you were dead. Sure. I thought you were dead as well. Oh, I thought you were dead as well, Petra says soberly. Petra relationship +3. You share your harrowing experience. You tell her about the fateful night when your parents were killed and how you escaped the castle with Amos. You tell her about your life in Elmvale and how you met Theo while working for Master Jet. Finally, you tell her about your plan to find something at the Somrath stronghold that would interest the Consortium enough to grant you an audience with Alexander Zuzak. Your secrets are safe with me, Petra says after you have told her the entire story. I'll help you bring down Zuzak and regain your throne. They are big words which underscore the enormity of your situation. You feel as though an enormous weight has been lifted from you as you finally have a confidant to share your troubles with. As the group's leader, Theo purchases the food and equipment that will be needed. It is your last chance to buy or sell anything before leaving. In particular, you will need to buy a horse. Leave without buying anything. Do some personal shopping before leaving Lud. I think we'll go ahead and do some personal shopping next time. In the meantime, we met Petra again. Oh, she likes me. She's at 66. I think, were the other guys at 67? Amos and the thing. Okay, so relationships, it seems like it's like current party members is what they're showing here, and otherwise it's hidden without that, and which is interesting because I never saw that sort of thing when I was looking at the whatchamacallits. Oh, I've got wizard level 1. Cool. All right. Anyway, yeah, we'll go shopping next time, and hopefully get to the Somreth and find something that will interest Zuzak, and then go murder Selena, slit her throat, or better yet, let's poison her. No, wait, no, because she would probably know the cure for that. Screw it. Let's just kill her anyway. We can figure out.